Okay, so this is the first chapter, and it's called Petty Theft. Spin's voice echoed in his ear. This is a bad idea, boss. Shush, Raven whispered to his familiar. He needed to concentrate. Cheek and jowl against the smooth cobblestones, he held his breath and prayed to the gods that no one had seen him duck under the Seamaster's ornate carriage. The setting sun cast long shadows from a pair of boots so close to his face that the dust and leather made him want to sneeze. Their owner was deep in conversation with the Seamaster, the hem of her fine merged silk trousers barely visible. The two women's voices were hushed, and he could only make out the occasional word. Raven rubbed the old burn scar on his cheek absently, wishing they would go away. Seriously, boss, I'm not from this world, and even I know it's a bad idea to steal from the Seamaster. Though only he could hear Spin's voice, Raven wished the little silver AI would just shut up. The henchcloth wrapped package in the carriage above was calling to him. He'd wanted it since he'd first seen it through the open door. No, he needed it. Like he needed air, even though he had no idea what was inside. He scratched the back of his hand hard to distract himself from its disturbing pull. An infant popped its head out of the sewer grate in front of him, sniffing the air. Raven glared at the little white rodent, willing it to go away. Instead, the cursed thing nibbled at his nose. Raven sneezed and covered his mouth. He held his breath, staring at the boots. Don't let them hear me. A shiny silver feeler poked out of his shirt pocket, emitting a golden glow that illuminated the cobblestones underneath him. Boss, you all right? Spin's whisper had a sarcastic edge he often used when he was getting annoyed. Your heart rate is elevated. Be quiet. Raven gritted his teeth. Spin had the worst sense of timing. The woman, one of the guard maybe, and the Seamaster stepped away, their voices fading into the distance. Raven said a quick prayer of thanks to Joras, the goddess of wild luck, and flicked the infant back into the sewer. Shoo! He popped his head out from under the carriage to take a quick look around. There was no one between him and the squat gray Seagull headquarters. It was time. Grab it and go. He reached into the luxurious carriage. A host of mer beetles must have spent years spinning all the red silk that lined the interior, and snagged the package. He hoped it was the treasury payment for the week. If so, it should hold enough coin to feed an orphanage for a month. And he knew just the one. Got it. Good, now get us out of here. A strange tingling surged through his hand. Raven frowned. He must have pinched a nerve or something. Ignoring it, he stuck the package under his arm, slipped around the carriage, and set off down Galton's main thoroughfare. He walked as casually as he could, hoping no one would notice the missing package until he was long gone. We clear? Spin's feeler blinked red. No, run! They've seen you! Raven ran. He didn't know how his strange little friend did it, but he trusted Spin. When his familiar's far vision worked, he was almost always right. Stop the thief! A guard's voice echoed down Grindel Lane between the shops that loomed over Raven like jagged teeth in the dimming light. Passers-by turned to stare, but no one intervened. Holy green hell, what's in this thing? Raven clung to the package, his patched-up boots thudding down the cobblestone street. He said a brief prayer of thanks to Elos, the old god, that Spin's special powers were working. He shot a glance over his shoulder at the pursuing guardsman. A miasma of fog mixed with smoke lay thick across the city streets, lighting the sunset in the green sky behind him gloriously in red and gold. You're as daft as a gully bird, Ravorn. Stealing a package from the Seamaster's carriage in broad daylight? Seriously? If the Thieves' Guild found out, they'd be after him again for stirring up trouble. Still, he hadn't expected 3 guardsmen to come after him. What in heaven's reach did I steal? The Henja Queen's jewels? A woman lay slumped in the doorway of a closed tailor shop ahead, the knotted purse, wrapped in a familiar blanket. Raven skidded to a halt. Where are they? About a block away. You're not as slow as usual today. Coming from Spin, that was almost a compliment. Thanks. Raven ignored his companion's snarky tone. He slipped his hand into his pocket and pulled out a silver kroner and dropped it into the roofless woman's hand, ignoring her unwashed smell. Not everyone had a bathtub or a river to bathe in, after all. Get yourself something hot to eat, Silya. He kissed her cheek. Silya's eyes lit up, and a smile cracked her weathered face. A single tear ran down her dirty cheek, revealing the ruddy skin underneath, and she nodded. Noros bless you, Ravorn. Spin's voice chimed urgently in his ear. Let's move it. They're hot on your tail, boss. But Raven was already off and running again, barreling down the street. He glanced over his shoulder, in time to see the roofless woman stumble to her feet and careen accidentally into the path of one of the guards, knocking him to the ground. Bless you too, Silya.